Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers predicted to clean house at QB and sign former first-round talent. Pittsburgh Steelers general manager Omar Khan reiterated Tuesday, February 25, that the team's preference is to re-sign either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson as the starting quarterback before free agency. Having said that, he also noted that until a signing occurs, all options are on the table at the position. All would almost certainly have to include the top free agent quarterback that is likely to hit the market, Minnesota Vikings Pro Bowler Sam Darnold. On February 26, ESPN analytics expert Seth Walder predicted that Darnold would be the Steelers' starting quarterback when the 2025 campaign begins in Week 1. Keeping Fields is a possibility, Walder acknowledged, questioning, but if the Steelers really liked him, why did they continue to play Russell Wilson over him? And though I have some healthy skepticism of how Darnold will fare without Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson, he's arguably the best free agent quarterback available, the analyst went on. The Steelers land him because they have the most to offer, Darnold, a potentially very good defense, winning history under Mike Tomlin and the lack of a top pick, making them less likely to take a first-round rookie. Darnold to Pittsburgh hasn't gotten a ton of hype, despite the Steelers' obvious QB need. So, it is interesting to see Walder predict that outcome at this stage of the offseason. Some believe Darnold could be a little out of Pittsburgh's price range at an estimated $35 to $40 million per year, but it's possible the rising cap number has readjusted the Steelers' line of thinking on that matter. It all depends on Fields, who Steelers beat reporter Mark Kaboly called the #1 priority while speaking with 93.7 The Fans, The Pomp and Joe show on February 26. I think they're waiting to see what kind of answer they get from Fields, Kaboly told the show. And while they wait for him, they got to pretend. And I say pretend like they are interested in everybody just in case Fields does not want to come here or gets a better offer somewhere else. I think it's always been Fields, the veteran Steelers insider continued. I think he's our #1 priority. But you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Fields has been linked to several teams since the end of the season. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported mutual interest between the QB and the New York Jets, who are moving on from Aaron Rodgers. Some have speculated that the New York Giants, Las Vegas Raiders, Indianapolis Colts, Tennessee Titans, and Los Angeles Rams could also be fits for Fields, depending on how their respective quarterback situations shake out. Based on that supposed intrigue, there's a world where the Steelers lowball Fields, and he responds by deciding to test his market. At that point, Pittsburgh could lose the former first-round talent and be stuck looking into alternatives. If the Fields route falls through, an easy connecting of the dots would bring Wilson back to Pittsburgh, right? Kaboly agreed with that assessment on 93.7 The Fan, but CBS Sports reporter Aditi Kinkhabwala practically guaranteed Wilson wouldn't be back during her own spot on 93.7 The Fan. Speaking with Andrew Filipponi and Chris Mueller on February 26, Kinkhabwala said this about Wilson: "From all of the reporting that I have and all of the conversations that I've had with people in the building, everything I have been told is that Wilson is not going to re-sign with the Steelers." Kinkhabwala isn't the first to report Pittsburgh is done with Wilson, and this all matters when it comes to the Darnold conversation because in the scenario where the Steelers miss on Fields, Darnold could then become the next target in line. Rising prospect firmly on Steelers' radar at NFL Combine. Although draft season has already been underway, the NFL Scouting Combine feels like the official kickoff of the NFL draft season. With 2 months to go until the draft, the Combine gives prospects a chance to raise their stock by performing and measuring well. One prospect who has been climbing the ranks is Oregon defensive tackle Derek Harmon. The Combine has made one thing clear: Derek Harmon is certainly on the Pittsburgh Steelers' radar with the 21st pick in the draft. It is always interesting to keep track of what prospects teams hold formal meetings with at the Combine. Though teams meet with more prospects than they'll ever have the chance to draft, the meetings can provide an idea of what positions teams plan to prioritize in the draft. Pittsburgh made clear at the Senior Bowl and is making clear again at the Combine their interest in this year's defensive tackle class. As such, it is no surprise the Steelers met with Derek Harmon at the draft. Strong measurables and testing on top of their formal meeting, Derek Harmon's measurements at the Combine are music to the Steelers' ears. Harmon came in at a whopping 6'4" and 313 pounds, pairing that size with long arms and big hands. Not only does Harmon try to play like Cam Hayward, he has similar measurements to Hayward, who Pittsburgh drafted in the first round of the 2011 draft. While Harmon didn't participate in all the athletic testing at the Combine, he did turn in a very impressive 4.95-second 40-yard dash. His 10-yard split, which is an important aspect of the 40-yard dash for linemen, wasn't quite as good. But overall, there are little concerns with Harmon's athletic abilities. Pair his athleticism with his size and tape, and it's no surprise that Derek Harmon is on the Steelers' short list of targets with their 21st pick. Finally, it's safe to say Derek Harmon is a top potential target for the Steelers because they really need to beef up their defensive line. Hayward is still playing at an all-pro level, but he'll also be 36 years old in 3 months. Keanu Benton is a young player who has showed serious potential on the Steelers' defense. Behind those two, though, Pittsburgh is lacking talent at the position. The debate for the Steelers will really come down to whether they want to draft a nose tackle or a Hayward-style defensive end. If they elect to take a nose tackle, Harmon probably isn't their guy. Kenneth Grant from Michigan is the top true nose tackle in this class, but he might not be available when Pittsburgh makes their pick. But if they'd prefer a more versatile player who can play anywhere along the defensive line, then Derek Harmon is absolutely in play for the Steelers in the first round. Assessing where QB market stands. This year's veteran quarterback market consists of at least one Hall of Famer, possibly 2. Although Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson are no longer in their primes, each is expected to play in 2025. Kirk Cousins is also lingering as a potential option. Sam Darnold, however, headlines this free agent class, one that features 4 of the 5 QBs chosen in the 2021 first round. Only Justin Fields qualifies as a starter-level option from that quintet, as Mac Jones, Zach Wilson and Trey Lance will not garner attention on that level this year. Daniel Jones also hovers as an interesting option, despite his rough 2023 and 24 showings. The trade market, which technically includes Cousins, also has introduced a big name. The Rams continue to dangle Matthew Stafford. Even if this is merely to pinpoint his value as the sides haggle over a new contract, a handful of teams, chiefly the Raiders and Giants, have entered the fray for the former Super Bowl winner. Here is where these markets stand at the Combine. It has now been 5 days since it became known the Rams were letting Matthew Stafford speak with other teams. Rather than seeking another reworking, Stafford is gunning for a new contract, and to become the oldest member of the $50 MMAAV club since Rodgers, who was there for a season. No one tied to a long-term deal averaging north of $50 million is older than 31. Stafford will play an age 37 season in 2025. He is partially at fault for this value discrepancy. After all, Stafford had left money on the table during his initial Rams negotiations in an effort to help the team around him. That led to Stafford signing for 4 years and $160 million, that matched the Dak Prescott terms, though with less player-friendly language, at the time. It now sits 15th at the position. And you fan? What do you think of Matthew Stafford's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.